What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today is February the 18th. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and what big money is doing today. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So today, not a lot in data points. In reality, it's going to be more of a reflection of what has happened over the last little bit, and as well a couple of Fed speakers, and depending on what they do bring up, it could cause some volatility, but I feel like the market's already priced in absolutely everything. Has been regurgitated like many times over the last week that there won't be any cuts, most likely up until Q3. So there's not really much they can state that would really spook the market all that much. So again, that is kind of at the beginning and at the kind of tail end of the day. But aside from all of that though, futures are looking fairly good. Dow is up 0.16, S&P is flat, and NASDAQ is up 0.1. So pretty good stuff associated to that. Fear and Greed Index is slowly moving up to the neutral category, so I do anticipate that to be kind of moving there. Seems to be working a little bit, so again, this is a good indication of people's appetite for risk. With that said, let's get right to it. So SoFi is up 1.36%, piggybacking off the market. No news, no SEC filings, as you can kind of see right there. As far as shorts, 11.79% at the free float is being shorted. It works out to be 126.94 million shares. So today, as well as a more of a technical driven day, and in SoFi's case, because of the recent action that did happen on Friday, it was able to get above that 50-day moving average. So SoFi is definitely going to see some good momentum in the upside. Aside from that, with it at 1644 though, pre-market, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. Very wide gaps, so just watch for 1593 to be the next strong support. But flip side, 1777 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. I don't see that being touched today, but most likely it's going to build some pretty good momentum up to that point. So again, just kind of take note of that. I think over the next couple of days, SoFi is going to do some pretty good things. Aside from that, Intel is up roughly around 5% this morning, and there is another rumor that did come out associated to both TSM and Broadcom, both interested in different aspects of Intel. So it's been back and forth. A lot of people have been stating that Intel's had a crazy deal, good takeover. That's been one of the rumors that happened here in November, as well as most recently in January. So it's, I don't know, to say if maybe this is one of those scenarios that it is sell the rumor or whatever else, but you do your own due diligence. At the end of the day, 2.46% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 105.44 million shares. So of course, not a squeeze play or anything, and they won't really be that big of a difference or a kind of influential factor because there's a ton of volume getting into Intel today. With it at 24 and change, it is trading between these 2 points, so the pivot and this S1. I'm looking at the 1 week chart as well, so these are very, very strong support and resistance points. Basically, I'm just showing you this because pivot. So the 29.79 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. So that'll be kind of the next swing trade if it does and is able to gain some pretty good momentum. Just watch for that. But yeah, in my opinion, Intel definitely is one of those ones that you should be prepared just in case the rumor does flop. Moving on is Grab. So they are up 11.43%. Couple pieces of news. So already that news about them wanting to take over its competitor was floating around. And then aside from that, you also do have a lot of individuals such as Ray Dalio buying recently 2 million shares of it. So people, of course, love to see that type of information. But historically, though, it looks like he buys and then sells. So I wouldn't say that this is a good, crazy, long-term kind of play. A lot of people are saying that this is like the next big SoFi or Palantir. I think they are just going to be for a rude awakening based on his historical information right here. So do your own due diligence. It's not that heavily shorted. So 4.76% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 124.73 million shares overall are being shorted. With it at $5 and change, it is trading between this R3 and this R2. 527 and then 509 is going to be the following supports, and then 556 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. Moving on, SLDB did put out news this morning. Nothing really crazy, so solid Biosciences announces pricing of underwritten offering. So they go over the common stock as well as the warrants. Nothing crazy if you ask me, but then again, I don't really understand biotechs all that much. A lot of what happens to the price action just is over my head. So as you can kind of see, it is up 73.7%, very heavily traded so far this morning. So a lot of big money is getting in. It's somewhat heavily shorted, so 14.46% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 2.7 million shares. If you're looking at trading it with a 701, it is trading between this pivot and this S1. Kind of scratch off this S1 that won't be touched whatsoever today. 768 though, that would be the next strong target, so just watch for that. And then as well 1196. So let me know your viewpoint on that. And then last but not least, SMCI is right now above that very big psychological $50 range. So I think this is just going to set the trajectory for it to really go up back to maybe the 60s or possibly even the 70s, because they just had their earnings and there was no crazy massive red flags that people were somewhat worried about. So yeah, this one is definitely a very good kind of technical based stock that should be moving higher. It is somewhat heavily shorted, so 19.82% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 99.2 million shares overall are being shorted. As of this morning, shorts are returning 308,000 shares. So of course, that's adding just some good buying pressure going on. But aside from that, with it at $50 and change, it is trading between this R3 and this R2. So 46.81 will be a strong support. 52.60 will be the next strong target / resistance. So let me know your thoughts. What stocks are you watching today? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. And with all that, appreciate all of you watching.